So, good morning and welcome back to the old home place here. It's a beautiful day. It's been about a month and a half since I've been out here, and I need to do a lot of brush hogging. If you watched some of the other videos, you can hear me talking about how overgrown this place really gets in a matter of not very long at all. So that being said, take a look at that. You can see where I've mowed up through it. It's about Well, that's almost waist high on me in a lot of places. So we got a lot of brush hogging to do today. But first, since this is really only the second time I'm putting this brush hog to work this summer, I need to lube everything up. I was pretty hard on my bucket making those trails as well, so I need to lube everything, lube all those fittings as well. So before we get going, that's what I'm going to do. I've already done the wheel on my brush hog, which is one of the most important fittings you can grease if you do a lot of mowing. If you have your wheel come off or seize up, that will definitely ruin your mowing experience. So the other thing is grease guns. I'm not where I should be with my knowledge of grease guns, but one thing I do know is that there are different fittings. So what I found is this, it's called Lock and Lube, and it's got this fitting on here that stays closed so your grease doesn't leak out, but it also fits to any size Zerk fitting. Well, normal size. If you're working on heavy equipment, then it might be a little different. But this will fit on everything on this tractor to grease it. So I don't have to worry about finding the right fittings or whatnot. So before I get going, I'm gonna grease the loader bucket and those fittings. And then since all this stuff is real tall and it's kind of dry, I'm gonna make sure my air screen, my air cleaner screen in the front of the tractor is cleaned out. All right, so I got everything lubed up. The screen on my radiator is clean, so hopefully I won't overheat anywhere. We'll have to check it maybe once or twice more while we're doing this just to make sure it's not getting clogged up. So I got a lot to mow, so let's get on the move. So I thought this would be a good stopping point. I've said it before that if I can learn to use this equipment, anyone can. But that doesn't mean there are not some we'll call them learning curves to doing this, to actually using this equipment. I was coming through here, I thought the camera was recording, but it was not. If it had been, you would have seen me put my bucket straight into a tree and just knock it over. This is a poplar tree. It's one of the ones I wanted to take out anyway. I didn't think I was going to do it today, hadn't planned on it anyway. But what was kind of interesting is I feel like I barely hit it. And when you look, there's these two that were growing here together. And I think it was weak anyway. If you look, you can see where it wasn't a lot of wood actually holding this thing on. But nonetheless, I plowed into it. And you can see there's the mark from my bucket right there. I really didn't hit it all that hard, just with the corner of the bucket. And now I have created more mess. That's okay. It happens. My neighbor Jimmy, I'm going to find a way to thank him for it, once again has mowed part of my property out here when he was mowing his. Must have been a pretty day. That's his excuse. If it's a pretty day, he just keeps mowing. So I will find a way to thank him. So while I was thinking about that and trying to get a branch away from my face, I hit it and created more work for myself. But I also created more firewood, so nothing wrong with that. All right, back to mowing.